Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm gonna show you trick and tips to improve your performance on a low-end Linux computer. This is my desktop and I'm gonna start opening Lutris. Lutris open it. I'm gonna go to Lutris settings and this is my software and hardware I'm using. As you can see, my graphic cards doesn't support Vulkan and this video is made out thinking of these older graphic cards that doesn't support the new API. There we go. This is a bit obvious, but you can improve a bit your performance, closing background apps, like closing your Discord or Spotify. This is lower the CPU usage and free some memory. You can also disable some startup apps, going to startup settings. Next useful change to improve your performance is lower your resolution. In my case, I'm using FXCA and preset FN plus F4 for accessing the screen settings. Resolution changed and now go to settings and I'm gonna disable the desktop effects. Next useful step is disable the in-game overlay. In Lutris case, you go to game settings, system options and click to disable Lutris runtime. Now click on save. On Steam, go to game, properties and click to disable Steam overlay. You can also install these useful programs like Feral Game Mode, and there is many ways to install, like getting the source code and compile, or using your package manager of your distro, or simple using your distro app store. Another stuff we're gonna install is the latest unstable Mesa drivers, a latest version of Wine with FSync support, and Linux ZenMod kernel. All things installed, now we're gonna change the game mode configurations. To do this, go to game mode GitHub, example folder, game mode point ini and copy this content. Now go to point config folder and as you can see I already have a game mode configuration file. Let's delete it and create a new one. New blank folder created. I will gonna paste the content. As you can see, there is a lot of stuff you can change. Let's change some things. To test if your custom configurations are working, you need to open a terminal and write this command gmoded-d. A message "All test passed" will show. You can also change your power settings using programs like Core Control or CPU Power. I'm gonna using CPU Power. As you can see, I can change the governor policy, I can change the minimum and the maximum frequency. After make some tweaks, let's click on apply. There is a lot of useful parameters you can use to improve your performance. On Steam, you can do this on initializing options. A lot of channels tells you to put the Proton parameters or game mode parameters in this place, but you can avoid this monstrosity of comments. To do this, you need to go to Proton files, and we have a user settings sample folder. We need to create a copy and rename this folder. Inside this folder, we need to disable the wine logs. And let's put some new parameters like 23D, disable async, and disable Mesa logs, and enable the game mode. All tweaks made it. Let's test this game as example. Inside your game, you can lower the graphics settings and resolution, or you can run in a window mode. This game is locked at 60 FPS, and we can use another parameter to disable the VSync. Now this game is running at maximum FPS. The next following step is dangerous because it can break your system and we turn your system vulnerable. Basically, we're gonna deactivate Spectre and Meltdown protections. To do this, you need to open a terminal. Now, open the grab configuration files. In this case, I'm using Vim, but you can use any text editor with sudo. In this line, you need to put some new parameters like quiet splash, mitigations equal off, Intel pstate equal disable, idle equal poll. Save the grub configuration file and now write new command sudo update -grub. This is gonna update new kernel entries. After, restart your system. To check if your configurations are working, you need to use this command, and an entry called Spectre and Meltdown will appear as like this. This is the video. I hope it helped you. See you next video.